Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Too Opinionated, where I'm beside myself. I'm speaking with the legend himself, voice actor Rob Paulsen. So, welcome, Rob.
Thank you so much, my friend. I am so glad to be here. I'm breathing and I'm not in jail, but the day's not over yet. So,
It's early yet.
absolute pleasure. I'm just thrilled to death to be here, and thank you and your viewers for and listeners for lowering your entertainment standards for the
That's
next.
right.
We'll see if we can be worthy of their attention.
Oh shoot. So I want to ask you how you got into to the voice acting, the entertainment business, but I just wanted to mention that I'm a huge fan of all the voices that you do. I just I'm a big nerdy guy. Kind of grew up that way. Yeah, I was nerdy when it wasn't really cool. Now it's kind of cool to be nerdy,
Cool.
but big fan. But I just wanted to mention that I remember seeing you in Body Double and Warlock, And if
Thank
I
you.
now you tell me if I'm wrong, but didn't you do the announcer for Cheers?
I did. I did. What I did was when Cheers went from its, I don't know, I think it was before Cheers was finished. But as you know, what happens is once you've got a big hit on your hands and you've got
Yes,
4 or 5 seasons, you can syndicate a show.
that's
When
right.
a show goes into syndication, the syndicator puts together a whole bunch of new promos to say, coming up on the next MacGyver, coming up on the next. And so I got hired to be the promo guy for Cheers.
Yeah,
And the first time I'd done that gig, and I had learned or had heard from other friends of mine who had done that gig, what an incredibly lucrative job it
yeah.
is. And dude, were they right. I remember doing the first batch of promos. I think I did, I don't know, a couple hundred of them. And I did the first batch, maybe 50 for 3 or 4 hours at LA Studios. And a week or two later, I got my check. And it was stupid money for me. And I
Well,
thought,
yeah.
this is like the greatest gig in the world. So yeah, Cheers was really good to me. I never did an episode on camera, but my voice is attached to, I don't know, 100 episodes or so.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, it was a monster back in the day.
Huge. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah,
Yeah. I have a lot of friends who were on the show,
yeah.
worked on it. My friend Tress McNeil, who you guys know as Dot, did a couple episodes, and yeah, it's pretty cool. In fact, um, oh gosh, the gentleman who played Norm, um,
Oh, George wins.
George. Oh no, I'm sorry. Who's the other guy? Cliff, not George
Cliff.
Wendt.
Yeah.
John
Uh,
Ratzenberger. Yeah,
yes.
John Ratzenberger's has been in all the Toy Story shows. He does a lot of
Yeah.
animation work now. So yeah, we stick around long enough, and we all kind of get to know each other. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, we got to meet John at a convention. Oh, it's been a year or so ago, but the line to him was just too big. We were covering it. We got to do it as press. We couldn't get to it, but we were hanging. We were in the back. We had our
Sure.
press passes, so we are in the back. Well, he was out there uh, having a drink, but
Mm.
he was in character with his Toy Story
Oh
voice
my God.
out there, and there was nobody around. It was just, but that's the voice he was doing, just out back there
It's
relaxing, having
it's
a
pretty
drink.
cool, isn't it? It's pretty
It
cool.
is.
I remember as a kid, big, you know, all my heroes on this side of the pond. A lot of my influences were from British humor, but on this side, of course, it was the usual suspects: Johnny Carson, Jonathan
Yeah,
Winter, Lucille Ball, Carol Burnett, Red Skelton, the usual
yeah.
suspects. One of the most phenomenal things to this day that used to blow my mind and my parents and siblings' minds was when Mel Blanc would be on the Tonight Show. Because he'd shuffle out. He was probably in his mid 60s, early 70s.
Yeah.
All Johnny had to do was poke him with a stick, and then Bugs, Daffy, Tweety,
Oh, it was amazing.
Sylvester. Oh my God! And what was really great was you could see the king of late night talk shows was just beside himself, as you
Yeah.
said earlier, because all these characters were coming out of this sweet old guy's face. and it's the coolest thing to see.
Absolutely.
So yeah, man, I love all that stuff.
Yeah. Who were your British influences?
Well, the Pythons for sure. Uh,
Holy Grail is
oh yeah,
got to be my top five
yeah,
movies.
all those guys, every one of them. Tony Hancock, who's an old British comic who's
Yeah.
passed away years ago. Anthony Hancock, a series of comedy films called the Carry On films with people like Kenneth Williams, Hattie Jakes. I'm sorry,
Okay.
yeah, Hattie Jakes, Charles Hawtrey, the two Ronnies. Peter Sellers was
Oh
like a
yeah.
god to me.
Yeah. Peter
I'll
Sellers
tell
is
you
great.
what, whenever I start to feel like I'm really getting good at this gig, I watch uh, videos of Peter Sellers from The Goon Show, or I
Yeah.
watch Jonathan Winters on The Tonight Show, or I
Miss
watch
Jonathan Winters.
stuff that's 50, 60 years old.
Yeah.
And I think, nah, you still got a ways to go, son. I'm telling you, and to be sure, Robin Williams too, although Robin was more of a contemporary and was
Right.
a fan of those guys too. Um, but to be sure, their genius often was kind of tweaked with a certain amount of madness, and
Right.
we, the audience, were very grateful. And as a performer, as actors, it raised the bar for me to try to say, well, I can't do that,
Right.
but I want to be inspired to do the best version of that I can. Sadly, when it filters down and you get to, like, I got to work with Jonathan 4 or 5 times
Yeah.
on a number of different shows, and he was delightful to me, so nice to me
That's great.
and others. But he was out there, and and
Right.
and that had to be difficult for his wife, for people who loved him,
Yeah.
and and we know what happened to Robin. And once you hear the story and you understand why Robin did what he did, especially coming from his wife, it's sad, but it makes sense because everything Robin was about, his joy, his
Right.
income, how people reacted to him, everything, his entire ethos on this rock was going away. His reason for getting up in the morning
That's right.
was going away. So, as brutal as it was for those of us who loved him as a performer, um, God forgive me, I get it. I get it. Well, it's not just saying, well, you broke your leg, you can't be a place kicker anymore. It's everything that you think, the way that you, the way that you uh, take anything that comes over the airwaves, and your genius manipulates it in a way to make it funny or make it interesting or entertaining, even
Right.
to yourself, is going away. Everything.
Yeah. It's so
So
scary.
it is. And
Yeah.
so at the very same moment that I am so grateful to have spent time with some of those people, learned from them, been an audience member, uh, I I get why, there's a double-edged sword to that kind of genius. It's
Yeah.
pretty intense. Anyway, I didn't mean to go that far
No,
afield, but
Robin Williams. I mean, obviously, he was so big when
oh
I was
Jesus,
growing
yeah.
up, and part of what made him Robin Williams was he was just so fast. I mean,
Oh,
his wit
impossible.
it was just. I mean, I don't know that there was anybody any faster, and to start to lose that
Yes.
ability and that ability to process information, I can't imagine.
Yeah,
it's
and I don't know his wife. I know his daughter Zelda very well. I've worked
yeah,
with Zelda many times, and we broach the subject a little bit, but it's none of my business. I just can
right,
imagine if it were my daddy, you
sure,
know, it's heartbreaking. But when you kind of let this settle in, and I suppose he probably just preemptively said, I just don't want to do this. I don't want to
yeah,
be like this around my family. I don't want to see people make. I remember when President Reagan started to really have an issue, and it was
right,
Nancy and his family who said, you know what, we're going to say our goodbyes. but we're going to let this take its course in private. And I completely understand. I
Absolutely.
really do. It's got to be just for somebody who has that kind of intellect, irrespective of whether you like President Reagan or not. It doesn't matter. When you have got the intellect to be elected to the highest office in the world,
Right.
and it just starts to go that way, I can't imagine anything being more brutal.
No,
So,
I completely agree. And I will say that Jonathan Winters on the Tonight
oh,
Show was always must watch TV. That
my
was one. I mean, I was so young, but my mother would let me stay up to watch.
oh, same thing. My siblings, I have a couple of younger siblings, and we were all involved in community and high school theater. And our parents were like that. Oh my God, we're going to circle the TV guide because Jonathan Winters is going to be on the night show Wednesday night.
That's right.
You know what? We didn't have VCRs in those days,
Nope.
so
You only have one shot at it.
it was great. And now, for all your listeners, go back on YouTube and just punch in Jonathan Winters, and it will. You just spend an afternoon crying with laughter. It's fantastic.
He was
Incredible.
he was. Didn't he play? Wasn't he the baby on Mork and Mindy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Robin Williams' son in Mork and Mindy. It was great.
Oh my gosh. Oh, so Rob, so what did get you into the entertainment business? What made you want to go into that?
As I mentioned, my parents were uh, um, performers when they were young.
Yeah.
Music was always part of the deal around our house, um, constant. Uh, we were all encouraged to sing, to perform, and do all that stuff. Uh, and in my case, I think it just took hold a little more. Uh,
Right.
I'm the oldest in my family. I didn't do anything any different than the rest of my siblings, rather than my siblings. But in my case, the Jones, and once that hook was set, once I saw that it made not only first and foremost, I just love the feeling of creating. I love the feeling of finding something that makes me laugh, that
Yeah.
makes me feel something. I just love that. Once I got to the point where I saw that it affected others in a similar way, whether
Yeah.
it was my grandparents, my parents, a bully at school, or friends at school,
Right.
I thought, oh man, I love this. I don't really know what it is, but I sure do love it. Um,
Right.
and that's where it started. Uh, I really had no designs on doing it for money until I got to be 20.
Yeah.
Um, I I had been, like my siblings, encouraged to do theater at school. If you sing in the church choir, whatever, because it made my soul happy.
Right.
Uh, but once I went to college, I'm the oldest in my family. I went to college for 1 year at the University of Michigan. I grew up in Michigan. And after my first year, I remember clearly coming home and breaking the news to my parents that y'all have created a monster because I'm wasting your money and my time. A lot of improv, a lot of music. After my first year of college, I was 19. And I
Yeah.
said, I'm really, truly sorry. I'm sorry for the example it sets. I understand that the money that follows me to Ann Arbor does not follow me if I don't go to college.
Right.
I'll be in the moving picture business. I want to go to LA. I don't know what that means. I know that I've done this enough in my young life to know that I want to give it a shot before I can't do it. Before I have too many
That's right.
encumbrances. So this is the time for me to be selfish. It really upset my parents, and I completely, utterly understand why, especially having a college graduate of my own now.
Yeah.
But to their credit, they didn't scream at me. They just said, "Well, Rob, we hope you'll maybe get this out of your system, and we appreciate that you understand that you're on your own, but there's always a place for you, and good luck." So I joined a theater company, went on the road for 2 years, came back to Michigan, joined a rock and roll band, went on the road for for another year, and then in 1978, when I was 22, with 3 years of experience under my belt, I mean, of daily experience,
Yeah.
auditioning, failing, making mistakes, failing, forgetting the lyrics to a song, failing, all that, living out of a bus, eating ramen, all of that stuff. I went to LA, and relative to my age, I had a lot of experience. So when I went to LA, nothing that happened to me surprised me. It was challenging. Was it hard? No, because it was my choice.
Right.
Hard is running a farm. Hard is being a fireman. Hard is trying to be a school teacher in this day and age. Hard is pouring hot tar on a freeway in August. That's a hard
That's
job,
right.
right? Nobody put a gun to my head to be an actor. So for me, was it challenging? Of course it was. No more challenging than what anybody does if it's their passion. But I chose this. So when it really went south, it's on me. When I started making money, it's on me. Um, so that is how I ended up in LA. But I didn't really have the opportunity to do animation until the mid 80s. And it was about 7 years after I got here. I'd already done, I don't know, 20 or 30 on camera commercials,
Yeah.
um, half a dozen episodic television things. You mentioned Body Double and a couple other features. Um, and then the opportunity to do animation came around. Man, I just wanted to work. Little did I know that I was literally living that axiom that opportunity, I'm sorry, luck is when opportunity meets preparation.
Right.
I did not know when I was 10, 12, 16, 19, 21, 24 that by my moving to LA from Michigan years earlier, all of that preparation put me in a great spot to get lucky because now the opportunity presented himself.
That's right.
Exactly how it works.
I love
The
that.
idea is to prepare by doing what makes your soul happy because you never know when the opportunity is going to present itself or when. You know what I mean? So
Right.
that's how it happened. And just like when I got my first gig with animation is in G.I. Joe and Transformers,
Yeah.
nobody cared that I was a skinny, average looking 27-year-old. I was not limited by that. And now I'm a skinny 64-year-old. And I'm Animaniacs and Pinky and the Brain with Mr. Spielberg. And look what happens to your handsome face when those characters come out of
Oh
my
yeah.
mouth. It's
Yeah.
not
Cracks me up.
it's not about my gray hair. It's simply about nerves. And how glorious is that?
It's pretty
So,
great.
my friend, I
Pretty
hit the
great.
lottery, and more importantly, I know it. I know how fortunate I am.
Yeah. Yeah. If I remember right, you were Snow Job on
I
the
was Snow Job and Tripwire,
Tripwire. That's right.
um, aerial bots, air raid, slingshot, um, and I was familiar with GI Joe because when I was a kid, and I had a couple. GI
Yeah.
Joe was a 12
Oh
inch
yeah. Mine
action
too.
figure. It's not a doll. It's an
That's
action
right.
figure. You
Yeah,
know?
G.I. Joe and what was the Action Gym?
Yeah. Same size as a Ken doll, but Ken was a doll.
That's
GI Joe
right.
action figure.
That's right.
So, but anyway, no, I love that stuff. So when it turned out to be a cartoon,
Yeah.
oh my God, I was in. And then I met Michael Bell and Neil Ross
Yeah.
and
That's a talented bunch.
and and directed by Wally Burr and all these Jack Angel, Peter Cullen, Frank Welker, all BJ Ward, and they all
Yeah.
became my friends. I talked to BJ last week. I talked to Frank 2 weeks ago. I talked to Neil Ross a month ago. I've known these
Yeah.
people now for 35 years.
Amazing.
We've been to each other's children's birthdays and bar mitzvahs and parents' funerals, and they're my best friends in the world. How lucky am I?
Pretty lucky. What's that like when you get together? Do you have normal conversations or are you just doing voices the whole time?
Well, a little bit of both.
Yeah.
As we discussed, our mutual friend Neil Ross, he's a very articulate, erudite,
Yeah.
bright man. In addition to his talent as an actor and an author,
Right.
but yeah, these people have wicked senses of humor. And when we get together, it's no different than being at a recording session. You know, we just all kind of take the piss out of each other, and, and we just have an absolute blast. Because remember, I've grown up working with people who have been responsible. I just got to talk to Alan Oppenheimer the other day. Alan is 90,
Oh, wow.
90, and he was Skullmaster
Yeah.
on He-Man, uh, Vanity Smurf, right? So many on-camera performances. He played. He did 2 years on Broadway in the stage version of oh God, Sunset Boulevard.
Oh, wow.
The actor's actor, my kind of Hollywood dad. He's
Yeah.
25 years older than I. We are still fast friends.
Love
And
that.
people like that have been my mentors. Jonathan Winters, Michael Bell, BJ, on and on and on. I've known these people my whole life. Frank Welker's, he found our house for us. I've
Yeah.
golfed with Frank 50 times. So yeah, it's pretty. Peter Cullen, Jesus. To this day, when Peter says Autobots roll out, it makes everybody around us fall over.
Oh, yeah.
It's the coolest thing in the world.
That's the best. That's terrific. I wanted to ask you. I know you were in some rock bands, and
Oh yeah.
so my question is, couldn't you just change your voice to match a successful singer, and you could have had a whole career in a rock band?
Well, you know what? Good question. I am not very good at that. Jeff Harnell is really good at it. He can sing like all four of the Beatles, completely different.
Wow.
I mean, it's really remarkable. He can sing spot on like Steve Perry of Journey. He can sing like Robert Plant. He really can do anything with his voice. He's a wonderful singer. I'm a good singer, but I'm not a good impressionist. However, I've had a number of people say, "Oh my God, when Pinky sings, he sounds like Geddy Lee of Rush." So if I say, "Fly my night away from here, change my life again, my dear," and so people maybe have a little bit of a point, you know. But
That's awesome.
thank you for asking. No, I'm a pretty good singer, but I don't have that ability to really do a spot on impression. But man, check out Jess Harnell, because Jess has a band called Rock Sugar, and you can check them out on YouTube.
Yeah.
And they're a mashup band, so they'll take like a song from a popular '80s band like Tears for Fears, and mash it up with a Led Zeppelin.
I gotta listen to that.
And it's really cool. And Jess and his buddies just kill it. So check out Rock Sugar on YouTube.
Rock Sugar. Yeah, I'll check it out. Now,
exactly what you're suggesting.
Does Jess works with you on Animatrix?
Yes, Jess is
Animatrix. Yeah,
he's the voice of Yakko. And,
that's what I thought. Yeah,
and he's really a gifted man.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting. I'm so glad you brought up that Pinky sounded like the guy from Rush, because my stepson, he's all about Rush, and yes, those are his two bands, and that's what he said. He said, "That guy sounds a little bit like Pinky."
Isn't that great? And he's not the first one. Here's something that was, with respect to Rush, that was so touching, and and the way things have shaken out, it's a little bit sad, but it's so sweet. A couple of years, well, probably 4 or 5 years ago, Maurice LaMarche, who's my friend the Brain, sent me an email with a page out of Neil Peart's book called Ghost Runner. As you probably know, and many of your fans know, Neil was obviously a world-class drummer in that band, and in Rush rather, and he experienced really impossibly deep tragedies in his life
Yeah.
before he himself passed away. His wife died of breast cancer. And subsequent to that, his sweet daughter died in a car accident. And then he would travel around with Rush, often following the semis and everything in his, rather on his BMW motorcycle.
Yeah.
Uh, and because it gave him an opportunity to be by himself, to,
Right.
and I'm a rider myself. I'm a gearhead to the bone. And I understand that. It allows you to really reflect on how much all of what we experience is not about us.
Right.
It's about how we all have tragedies. We all have to digest that. We all have to get through them in our own ways or not. And he, I think very smartly, would follow Rush around, concert to concert on his bike. And he wrote a book called Ghost Rider about
Yeah.
those experiences, which I highly recommend. In one particular paragraph, there was a page in which he was reflecting on how much he enjoyed watching cartoons with his sweet baby girl. And I'll be goddamned, he highlighted Pinky and the Brain.
Oh, that's great.
It was, and it literally, I mean, it choked me up, man. It really did,
Yeah.
because he's a guy, I'm a huge fan of those guys. So now that Neil sadly is gone, he he gave all of us not only wonderful music, but an example of how even people who seem to have it all, money, fame,
Right.
are just destroyed by horrible stuff that happens to all of us.
Right.
Nobody gets out of here without a couple of dings. Some of them are much deeper than others. But he wrote that book to show how even people who seem to have it all suffer and how they get through it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even to the extent that it's something as simple as sharing some wacky cartoon show. And it was that important that he wrote it down. He didn't know me. He didn't know Maurice. It was just important of saying this particular show, Pinky and the Brain, we love that show. I will
Yeah.
always remember how much my
That's great.
daughter and I shit. How about that?
Yeah,
So
that's amazing.
what it does to me is it someday I'm going to be dust and somebody's going to watch this show that you're kind enough to give me an opportunity to do. And they might be able to be going through a difficult circumstance.
Sure.
And your kindness to me is going to offer them a glimpse into how to get through it. It's just like it's a
Right.
perfect
Right.
example of how we're all in this together to help one another. And you are allowing me to do that. So you're the one who deserves the credit. Thank you.
Yeah, I love your view on that. That's very inspiring.
Good.
That's great. So I wanted to ask you. I know you had your own battle with cancer,
Yeah.
and you've written a book about it, and it's I love. I'll tell you what I really enjoyed. I enjoyed reading all of the little blurbs from different
Oh,
people saying how great the book was. I just got the biggest kick out of that because it was just a who's who
isn't that
of
something?
oh yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing. But I just can you talk just a minute about
Please.
the effect that experience had on your ability to work and how you overcame it.
Thank you. And again, folks, this is what your humble host is doing, is giving me another opportunity to do something to help. Um, I was diagnosed 5 years ago next month
Wow.
um, with stage 3 squamous cell carcinoma in my throat. I have throat cancer.
Yeah.
Surprise! What's that axiom that we hear about? We make plans and God laughs.
That's exactly
Like,
right.
okay, hotshot, you're 60 years old. You got your Emmys, you got your Peabody Awards, you're friends with all these famous people. Blah 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 blah. Oh, surprise! You're closer to the end than the beginning. How about throat cancer? What do you say we give you that? What are you really made out of?
Wow.
Right. Um, Let me tell you right off the bat, when I was diagnosed, I was told pretty quickly, hey, here's the deal, Rob. virtually certain we can cure you, not remission, cure
Right.
you.
That's
But
good.
before we do, due to the nature of where the cancer is located and the treatment required to cure you, we almost got to kill you. Um, and I got to tell you now, that's not too far from the truth.
Yes.
And that is not to dissuade anybody. I am now, as a result of this silver lining, I'm the spokesperson for 2 years in a row now for the Head and Neck Cancer Alliance, precisely because I know what I'm talking about.
Right.
And I asked from the beginning for the straight dope. I said, I don't want to sugarcoat it. I'm not 25. My son is grown. He's married. My wife, there's plenty of insurance. If God forbid, I got to go out, it might make a few people unhappy. Certainly would piss me off, but everybody who needs to be okay will be okay.
That's right.
But that's not what they told me. So because I was an older dog, and because I'd already taken a couple of punches, and because I knew I was going to be okay, I said, tell me exactly how this works. I don't want it to be a surprise. If there's a period of time in which I'm incapable of speaking or eating, I got to tell my wife so she knows,
Right.
that, okay, this looks really bad, but he's going to be okay. This is expected. Okay. The intractable pain that you're dealing with is going to go away. Right now, it's really hard, but it's all for a good reason. I wanted to know that.
Right.
Not everybody does, and that's okay too, because as we always say, it's up to the individual. When you're confronted with something that at the very least is life changing, you, you need to go through it in whatever way is best for you. Some people say, tell my wife, tell my husband. I, I just have to focus on it. I don't want to know
Right.
what I'm in for. I want my wife to hold my hand and get me through it and say, sweetheart, trust me, this is normal. Okay.
Right.
I
Right.
wasn't one of those. It is not an aspersion. It is exactly the way I wanted to handle it. So in my case, surgery was not an option because had I gone through this 10 years earlier, it might have been. But the technology has switched over to the extent that, in my case, I had a lump on my neck, which was the area to which the cancer had spread. 10 years earlier, maybe 8 years earlier, they would have done a neck resection, removed that lymph node, then given me 7 weeks of daily radiation
Right.
and concurrent chemo. Now, that was not the case. So great. I don't have to be cut open. Wonderful. However, the treatments to, when you start zapping your throat or your head or your jaw with prescribed radiation, it's tough. It has
Sure.
to be. Because the idea is to, and I embraced it all. I saw what they were doing. I saw the 3-dimensional, 4-dimensional really, view of my neck and my head. It was like a video game. I wanted to see that. Un-effing believable. Really. To
Yeah.
watch it, and they do it for everybody who comes in with this, but I wanted to be a part of it. And so when I got toward the end of my treatment and I had the radiation and the chemo, I was told I was going to probably lose 20 to 30 pounds. I lost 50.
You're skinny to begin with.
I was already, well, I wasn't skinny, but I've always been an athlete. I'm a hockey player and golfer and weekend warrior. So in my case, the doctors were thrilled because they said, look, you're the perfect patient. A, you have a great sense of humor and you have a very positive outlook that is due in no small part to what I do for a living. I'm truly blessed. But also because of my weekend warriorness, I was maybe 10 pounds overweight, but it didn't stop me from going out and skating around with my buddies and banging into each other. Whenever I played golf, a couple of times a week, I walked and carried a golf bag. So their point was, great, no pre-diabetes, no heart conditions,
Right.
you smoke, you go around and skate and all of that. But don't lose any more weight. Keep eating because you weigh 175 and you're 5'10", and you're probably going to lose 20 pounds. So I got down to 125
Oh my gosh.
because I went through a period where I just could not, I just couldn't eat. I couldn't swallow. Um, I had to get my fluids intravenously, and I learned how to do it myself. Not a big deal, just a little stick, and off you go. But I couldn't eat because they can't really give you nutrition
Right.
via IV. And the doctors had determined that because of my good health, that if I didn't need a food tube, which is often the case in this type of treatment, they preferred not to give it to me. Once it got too far, my wife was very distressed because
Yeah.
I had gotten beyond the point where the food tube was doable. If I had to go through it again, I'd get the food tube because although it's unpleasant, at least you can squeeze calories into your stomach. I certainly don't point accusations at my oncologist for making the
Yeah.
wrong decision. I went along with their plan. I interviewed several doctors. I chose. It's on me. I made the choice to do what they said.
Right.
Once I got to a certain point, it was about riding it out. So I lost 50 pounds. I'm now back. Rob 2.0 is fine. I have gained 20 pounds ish, 18 to 20 pounds back. I'm pretty much stuck between 140 and 145.
Yeah.
I can't really taste food anymore. I'm kind of unique in that regard. Most people who go through what I went through end up getting their taste back. I did not so far.
Yeah.
But
We'll cross our fingers on that. That's
yeah,
a big
you
one.
know what? So what? I
Yeah.
I figured it out. I'm here to talk about it. I can do my job, right? Here you go again. I can still be Carl Weezer all day long if I need to be, and I can ask people to finish their croissant, or I can say turtle power, or hello nurse, or I think so, Blaine, but me and Pippi Longstocking, what would the children look like? Point. So all of that is back. I don't have to go, oh my God, I can't do my job. I can't do what makes me breathe.
Right.
Humor, joy, kindness, they're air to me. And they presented themselves to me in the guise of all these characters that I've had a hand or a voice in creating. Let's be clear, man. You're here talking to me and giving me an inordinate amount of time to be and being very kind to me. But I don't draw them and I don't write them. It is a deeply collaborative effort.
Yeah.
And I'm becoming more and more recognized and small c celebrity in my old age because I've been around so much. But I got nothing without the others. More importantly, we all got nothing without you and your audience. But to the extent that my contribution is important to the creation of an animated show, I can do it again. More importantly, I'm doing it again with all my friends from Animaniacs 25 years ago.
Amazing.
And the king of Hollywood, Mr. Spielberg, hired us to do it again. He knew nothing about my cancer. And once we got to do the episodes, they dropped on Hulu a month ago.
Yeah.
No one's any the wiser. That's the story. Not
That's great.
that I got through it. That's important to me. But the story that you're allowing me to tell is that who knows? Somebody who's watching this, my friend, is going to say, holy shit, Dad, you know that guy that we grew up listening to and now the grandkids are watching because Animaniacs is back? He just got diagnosed with the same kind of cancer that you did.
Yeah.
And look what's happening. You're going to be okay. This guy does it for a living, Dad. And he's fine. Dad, it's going to be tough, but we got this. We got this. That's what you're allowing me to do. That's the story. And it's important, not because of Rob Paulsen. Most people don't know who I am and don't care, and I don't care. But millions know Raphael and Pinky and Donatello and Snowball and Yakko. Millions know. And that's the story. Whenever someone gets to watch your show with me or some other interview that I've had or somebody else who's gone through this, to the extent that that can help them in their fight or help the people they love, that's the story. and I'm deeply passionate about it. This excitement you see is not manufactured. It's utterly authentic, and it is I who thank you for the opportunity.
Well, that's such a inspirational story, and it really I love your attitude toward all that. Cancer is such a difficult disease, but it definitely makes a difference if you, I think, go into it with kind of a positive
It does, and
attitude.
we all know, and you hit the nail on the head. It is sadly so ubiquitous. I'm not special. Everybody knows someone who's been
Yeah,
touched by cancer.
sure,
Virtually everybody knows someone whom they've lost from it.
right,
My story is a really good story. I have the gift of cancer in my case
right.
because of what I do. I now have a great story that wonderful people like you allow me to tell, and it's more impactful because my story isn't skin cancer. It's because I had throat cancer.
Yeah,
And it's because I'm doing it at a high level with the most powerful man in Hollywood, making millions of people laugh after the cancer. That's why the story is important.
yeah, yeah. The new episodes are hilarious.
Aren't
By
they?
the way, oh my
Oh
gosh,
my God.
yes.
Uh, Thank you for saying that because it is not, it's the freaking truth. They are really good.
Oh, they're
And
funny.
there you go. It's the writers and the artists.
Yeah. Yeah,
Amazing.
what a talented group. So I got to get to some questions from Brett.
Please.
He'll shoot me because it's
No, fire away.
him. He's like, oh, turtles. Got to talk about it. Oh, by the way, I remember you did a Taco Bell commercial with another friend of ours,
Eddie
Eddie
Deason?
Deason.
Oh,
Yeah,
I love Eddie.
yeah. We do too. We
And you know what? He's doing
he's
great.
the best.
As you know, he had some pretty
Yeah,
serious heart surgery last year.
yeah.
But God bless him. He's doing Eddie, if you watch this, I love you so much. Eddie, there is nobody who how do I put this? Eddie is singularly unique. And he has always been himself. In other words, when I knew Eddie as another young actor in Hollywood, hey, how you doing, pal? Hi, Rob. How's it going, pal? Ha ha! Eddie. That's how he
Yeah,
behaves, and that's how he is, and he's utterly charming. I'm so
yeah.
glad you brought that up. Yeah, we did a series of Taco Bell commercials together called Nacho and Dog or something like
Yeah,
that.
you were the dog. He was
Yeah,
Nacho. Yeah, he
yeah.
was the cat.
It was, oh my
Yeah,
God, I love Eddie. He is the most, well,
yeah,
genuinely sweet, kind, utterly down to earth man you will ever
yeah.
meet. I love.
Absolutely the truth. We were lucky enough to have him on the show. This has been a couple years back. He was one of the
Good.
early guests that we had, but he came to right before he got real ill. He came
Yeah.
to West Virginia for the Polar Express,
Right.
and it was a couple hours away from us, but he invited us up for lunch,
Of course
and just yeah, I mean, he's just the best. We
Yeah.
absolutely just love
Well,
him.
thank you for mentioning. I will certainly send him your regards.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So okay, so the turtles. So let me think
Yes.
if I can remember all the questions.
Okay.
Do you prefer Raphael or Donatello?
Yes. And the reason I say that is
Oh,
because it is a Sophie's choice. It's impossible. I
that's right.
look, anytime, any actor or any writer, any performer is fortunate enough to be involved with something that turns out to be what Ninja Turtles is,
Yeah,
that alone is a career making juggernaut.
for
Um,
sure.
Kevin Eastman, one of the creators, is a very dear friend.
Yeah,
And I think it was last year we were talking on a Zoom event. And of course, the recurring refrain after all these years is, Jesus, did you have any idea? And of course, the recurring answer is, who knew?
who knew?
How many features, how many different television iterations,
Yeah,
three of which I've been involved with, 6 billion
yeah,
in merchandise, uh, a fan base that is 3 generations now old.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't even know. But then to get a shot at it when I was 55 at Nickelodeon,
Yeah.
and I got hired, I'll be damned, again to do it. And that 2012 through 2016 version of the show turned out wonderfully. It's
It
a
did.
really good version of the show.
It is for
And
sure.
it fired up a whole giant new generation of fans.
Yeah.
Uh, and then directly after that, there's a version of Nickelodeon called Rise of the TMNT.
Yeah.
Producers said, hey man, Tom Kenny, who's SpongeBob, directs SpongeBob now, and it's working really well. Have you ever thought about directing? Because, we're doing this new version of Turtles, and you'll be a bad guy on the show. We'll come up with something, but there really is nobody in Hollywood with more turtle DNA. How do you feel about directing? And I
I
said,
love it.
why not? My God. So you see my point. It's really impossible to decide which one is the favorite because they've
Yeah.
all been glorious. But suffice to say that uh, having gotten 3 rides in the turtle van now, all I can say is cowabunga. Thank you. Because if I live to be 100, maybe I can knock them all out. But up to this point, I pizza, cowabunga, booyakasha, turtle power. I'm in, baby.
Have you ever read any of the original comics?
I have. Um, in fact, when the first show came along and I was auditioning, I was aware of this sort of underground comic book.
Yeah.
I'm not a big comic book guy, but I was aware of it simply because I'm in this milieu. I'm in this
That's right. You're in the
part
realm.
of the business. Yeah, this crowd. Um, but I also knew at the beginning that Raphael was an assassin. It was
Yeah.
a dark
You're rough.
kind of comic book, right? And um, certainly the show that we read for was very kid friendly for
Yeah.
obvious reasons. Um, but once the show happened, and once I got more involved, and once it really hit, and my own kid, was dressing up for probably 5 Halloweens in a row as his old man, I learned a lot. And then I got to know, the creators, and it was pretty cool. But
Yeah.
now I mean, how many different comic book?
Oh, there's a ton. I know Brett's reading the IDW
Yeah.
comics now, and he says they're just excellent. They really done a good job with it.
Yeah. And Kevin Eastman, one of the original creators, is a very close friend. He and his wife, Courtney, and I have become fast friends, and we see each other at events under normal circumstances. And every time it's just, it ain't nothing but a love thing because Kevin is I mean, all about the fans,
Yeah.
as am I. So to be in that crowd, as you say, and in the middle of that wonderful madness together is just incredible. To get to see how deeply people connect with Ninja Turtles and
Yeah.
how Turtles has brought so much joy to them and their family and often their grandkids. More especially, how Turtles has brought joy and comfort
That's
and
right.
even courage to people who've gone through really difficult things. And we get to hear about, oh my God, Rob, Kevin, you don't know what Turtles has meant to me because I was a foster kid or because my parents
Yeah.
went through a really acrimonious divorce and my brother and I held on to each other because of it. We're okay now. Or my little girl had, a glioblastoma and she made it. But man, she wore her turtle shirt while she was undergoing chemotherapy. Things that I would never know.
Amazing.
It is amazing,
Yeah.
and I've gotten to witness that. So yeah, it's ridiculous how cool it is.
Yeah. That's great. I saw that you were working on something with Tom Kenny. Now you're doing a Pinocchio.
Oh yeah, that
Yes.
was as a result of our mutual friend Mark DiCarlo,
Yeah.
who apparently procured the rights to do an animated Pinocchio, and it was myself, a bunch of other actors, including Tom, Maurice LaMarche
Yeah.
is in it as well. My friend the Brain, and yeah, Tommy. I mean, I've done a couple episodes of SpongeBob, and he's done I think he's done Animaniacs and Pinky and the Brain. I mean, we've all worked together on a number of things. It's very, um, very cross-pollinating. We all work on each other's shows. He did.
Yeah, I'd always heard it's tough to get into voice acting, but once you're in, you're in.
Yeah, and I think the reason it is not when you say tough. That's a great point. What it is it's not a closed shop. It's just
Right.
that like any other performance endeavor, there will always be more actors than jobs to fill. Um, and now there are a lot of on-camera actors who want to do animation.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when I was the director on Rise of the TMNT, we had Tom Kenny, we had John Cena, we had Lena Headey from Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Yeah.
We had Johnny Rotten from the Sex Pistols, which was a huge throw for me because I'm a rock
Yeah, that's
and roll
awesome.
fan. And so all these wonderful actors um, who are big stars in the traditional sense want to do cartoons. So it makes it even more difficult to break in. But sooner or later, people figure it out. It's just a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I'm so envious of your career because you have such joy in doing it. That's so hard to find.
I do. I get it. And that's why I say to people, I am a lottery winner. I know it. My arms are covered all year round because they're black and blue from pinching myself. It's the greatest gig in the world, and all my friends are the most talented, but utterly kindest, down to earth. Tom is no exception.
Yeah.
Billy West is no exception. Tara Strong, Tress McNeil, Nancy Cartwright, John DiMaggio, Kevin Conroy, Mark Hamill, Sean. Um, oh my God, I lost my train of thought. But Sean Astin, Seth Green. They're the nicest people in the world, and they're my buddies.
That's amazing. Yeah, I saw Mark Hamill's little blurb that he said he wanted to play you in the movie.
Yeah. I only regret that I'm too old to play Rob in the inevitable movie version of his book. Yeah. Thank you, Mark.
I got a big kick out of that. Yeah. So, all right. So I'm going to try something here. So I'm going to try to, let's see. I'm going to try to share my screen. I want you to see something. Let's see if I can find where I want to go here. I think this is it. Hang tight. I'm going to switch to a picture. All right. Can you see this picture?
I can, Mike. Yeah.
All right. So I saw that you had done a little skit where you were doing voices for cartoon characters that you'd never seen before.
Oh, I think it was from Vanity Fair.
Yes, from Vanity Fair. So there's my question. So here's your cartoon character. All right. So it's this little superhero guy here. So can you do a voice for him?
Now, which one? Because all I see is Meister. Okay, is it you right there?
That's me.
That's you with your. Is that like
I got my little Infinity Gauntlet here. I got my web shooters up here.
Okay.
That's my Rathacon little.
Right. Okay, and you've got your like Avengers kind of superhero badass. All right.
That's right. That's right. Can you got a voice for me?
I do. This is my voice right here. And look at here, y'all coming in here to start messing with yours truly. I'm gonna beat you 3 ways if you don't decide to get out the door. Up, down, and continuously. So by the time I count down to 4, I reckon you better be headed south out that north-facing door. And don't let the good Lord spit you. I'm sorry, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord spit you. All right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good night, everybody. That's what you're all about, my friend.
That was spot on. That sounds just like me.
I thought that you're going to get out and kick some good God-loving butt 6 ways from Sunday. And I don't think there ain't nobody that could do it to you. All I'm saying is, if you're going with Michael, you better think real hard about it, because you're going to have to, once that feller's done with you, you're going to have to unzip your britches to brush your teeth.
Oh my gosh, that was weird. You know, surprisingly enough, that sounds a lot like my pool guy.
That's great. Hey, Mark, come out here and cleared your pool, and I think that somebody done paid in it. Who's doing that?
Oh, Rob, this has been just amazing. Thank you so much for doing this for me. So we talked off camera before I let you go about Brett. So he's recovering. He caught COVID. Him and his mother. His mother was actually worse than he was, but they're both doing well. They're just recovering. But you mentioned that you wouldn't mind doing a little hello or a little something for him, and I'm hoping you can throw in a few turtle voices for him.
Yeah, he's a turtle guy.
No, he's a turtle guy, big time.
Does he? Do you know which turtle he prefers?
No, I don't think he has a preference. He loves them all equally. So anything you do, he's going to be on board.
All right. Well, and your boy's name is Brett.
It is, yes, sir.
All right. Well. Hey, Brett, this is Raphael of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You know that's true because I'm wearing my red bandana. Let me tell you something, my friend. All I know is that we are really, really in dire need of a fifth turtle. We got Raphael, Michelangelo, Donatello, Leonardo. I'm thinking really hard about Brett, the fifth TMNT. Okay? So if you're cool with that, please be as vigilant as you can. When you say Shredder, say the following, because I've said it myself. Shredder, you tin-faced geek, get back here and taste cold turtle steel. In the meantime, I want you to have a hot fudge, marshmallow, tuna fish, and Doritos pizza with an orange Jello chaser, because that's the kind of pizza that I would have to get myself in shape to do what we're going to need from you as the fifth TMNT. On the other hand, Donatello of the 2012 TMNT would like to share with you another little tidbit. Because as you might recall, there was an episode in which the bad guy had cannons coming out of his butt. And so I had the following epiphany. I said, butt cannons? He's got butt cannons? And it kind of freaked me out. But booyakasha, turtle power, cowabunga, and please accept our invitation to be the fifth Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Hang in there, my friend, and thank you for kicking COVID's butt, because ain't nothing can beat a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Oh, that was awesome. Hey, I do have one more thing I wanted to ask you. So this coming from Brett, because
great.
It's a social media that I'm not overly familiar with, but he wanted to know, are you aware that Carl has become very popular on TikTok?
I am. And the reason I know that is because my wife probably, I don't know, 2 months ago, Mike, she said, you should get on TikTok. And I said, I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. I try to participate and Instagram because I really do love the fans. I really, truly do.
Yeah.
I love across how much joy they get. But I said, TikTok skews a little young. I don't know that they would even know what I worked on. And she said, oh, trust me. She said, in fact, why don't you go on there and let people know she had done some research. She said, let them know that you're Carl. Well, the first thing I did was, hi, this is the real Carl Weezer. And I did some riff. Oh my God. Within 4 days, it had like 2.5 million likes or hearts or whatever.
Whatever,
Well,
yeah.
then I did a little research because I was, oh my God, I love this. For the same reason, just made everybody happy. Well, it turns out that there are like 150 million Carl versions of people who like that character.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I do
It's
now,
amazing.
and it is crazy. Last on the New Year's Day, I posted a video of Yakko singing Happy New Year to the United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru, and it's got 112 million. I'm sorry, 112,000 views, and I've got almost 280,000 followers on TikTok. And all it does is reinforce my contention that these characters, like all good animation, are utterly timeless. They have nothing to do with your age, the age of the audience.
Right.
Joy, humor, kindness, and sharing it with your kids and your grandkids and your friends has nothing to do with your age. You truly are as young as you feel. So I don't give a damn that I'm 64 years old. I'm going to do this till I die. So, yes, pardon me, that's my parole.
This interview's over.
Busted! But to Brett's point, yes. Now I know, so Brett, please tell people to finish their croissants and he will know exactly what that means.
Rob, thank you so much. Before you go, where can we find your book and where can we find you on social media?
Thank you. My book, Voice Lessons, subtitle of which is How a Couple of Ninja Turtles, Pinky, and an Animaniac Saved My Life, is available as an audiobook, which is pretty damn funny because all those critters make an appearance on Audible. The hard copy is available on if you decide to go to pick it up at Barnes and Noble or Books A Million. To the extent they're open, it's available there. And if it's not, they can order it, or you can order it from home on Amazon. I'm fixing to put together book signings where I can sign books and have them sent, and folks can see me do it virtually. I'm also going to be putting together a mechanism by which folks, if they've already bought the book, can send it to me and I can sign it for them on camera to show that it's authentic. So stay tuned, as it were. They can follow me on Instagram at Rob_Paulsen, Paulsen. Facebook, Rob Paulsen, voice actor. Twitter at Yakko Pinky, all one word, lowercase, Yakko Pinky. TikTok, Rob Paulsen, lowercase, all one word, ROBPAULSEN, Rob Paulsen 311, because Rob Paulsen was already taken. So Rob Paulsen 311, it's my birthday, so they can find me there. And Twitter, I think that's it. I think that's all of it. And I am putting together a new website, but that will be available through all of these different social media platforms, because it's going to give people an opportunity for signed merchandise, signed pictures. If they want to send me something to sign it, I truly appreciate this opportunity, Mike, because I really, truly am about the fan experience. I don't know how long it'll be before the traditional convention scene will be back up, but I sure as hell ain't going to let that stop me. It hasn't stopped anybody else. And due to nice people like you, I want to share this joy. And if they want something signed, great. If they don't, no problem. It's not how I make my living. I can still work from home, but I really love to share this joy with people. So thank you for letting me have that opportunity. You've been an absolute delight.
Well, yeah, thank you so much, sir. Yeah, Brett and I are so anxious to get back out on the convention circuit ourselves and actually see people in person. Talking is great by Zoom, but can't be in person.
I'm looking forward to giving you a big old man hug when I get a chance to, see that handsome, big-ass, badass vicious walking down that road there yonder going, whoo, Lord, somebody get the hell out the way because Mike and Fred is going to save the day.
Thank you, Rob. Well, that was the absolutely delightful Rob Paulsen. I knew I was such a fan of his, but I knew going in after talking to him for 5 seconds that he was just going to exceed every expectation that I had. What a wonderful man! I mean, the joy that he gets from entertainment and from his fans, it's just, you can feel it. It's just amazing. Such an honor to talk with him. So thank you, Rob. That was wonderful, and I hope we can have him back on real soon. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Please check us out on Facebook under MeisterCon. Go to the website meistercon.com. Give us a like there. I forgot to mention to Rob, but I'll send him an email. Brett has done just an absolute terrific blog on that original pilot episode of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on our website, meistercon.com. So Rob, if you're listening, please check that out. Leave him a comment. He would go nuts over that. It's really he's such a talented writer. It's really well done. So please, everybody, check that out. Thank you so much for joining us every week. We know you have a lot of options out there, so we do not take you for granted. Really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed that interview, and I hope we can see you all again real soon. Bye.